At 7:05 for August 10th. May I have a roll call, please?
Member Engstrom,
Here.
member Drennan,
Here.
member Sentенbeck,
Here.
member Miss Peterson. Here. Member Mr. Peterson,
Here.
member Blondin. Here. Member Rogers.
Here. Please stand for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is to approve the this evening's agenda. May I have a motion to approve this evening's meeting agenda as presented? So, second. Roll call, please.
Member Engstrom,
Aye.
member Drennan,
Aye.
member Sentenbeck,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Blondin. Aye. Member Rogers.
Aye. Next is the approval of the draft minutes. First is the approval of draft minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting of June 8th. May I have a motion to approve the draft minutes from June 8th? So moved. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Next is the approval of draft minutes from July 13th Board Retreat meeting. May I have a motion to approve the draft minutes from the July 13th Board Retreat meeting?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The last is the approval of the draft executive session minutes from July 13th Board Retreat meeting. I have a motion to approve the executive session minutes from the July 13th Board Retreat meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, now we have several public hearing meetings scheduled. First is the FY27 tentative budget. And may I have a motion to approve, may I have a motion to open the public hearing for the FY27 tentative budget?
So second.
Roll call, please.
Member Engstrom,
Aye.
member Drennan,
Aye.
member Sentenbeck,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Blondin. Aye. Member Rogers.
All right, back to Phillips, turn over to you, sir.
President Rogers, and move over to the presentation tape. Purpose of tonight's hearing is to achieve three primary goals. Inform the Board of Education of the components of the Benjamin 25 FY27 budget. Provide the Board of Education and public the opportunity to ask questions or provide input on the tentative budget. And finally, comply with a few Illinois statutes pertaining to the school budget adoption. After tonight, the administration will display this budget in the district office for 30 days. And then we'll hold a hearing to adopt the final budget in September. This slide will be used to meet the requirement of Public Act 102-0895, which requires each school district to disclose our cash reserve balances of all our funds. As this slide shows, our unaudited fund balances for the close of fiscal year FY26 total $10,850,781. So our next slide will drill those balances down a little deeper to show how our operating funds in order to meet the requirements of the next statute, Public Act 103-0394. This act requires school districts to calculate the combined annual average expenditures of its operational funds for the last 3 fiscal years. This slide shows operation maintenance fund, education fund, and transportation fund. If the district's combined reserve fund balances exceed 2.5 times the annual average expenditures, the district would be required to file a fund reduction plan. So if we think about this under the same lens that we use our days cash on hand fund balance policy, this is essentially if you're carrying more than 900 days cash on hand in any of these 3 funds, you would have to file a plan to bring us down. As the slide shows, we are not in jeopardy of meeting 900 days cash on hand. All total, 218 days cash on hand of our 3 operation funds. If we bring in the working cash balance, this would leave us a total for the fiscal year end of 230 days cash on hand. So 50 days above our fund balance. So the first, just a slide, going too fast. So next we are going to present the preliminary projections for FY27. The Finance Committee met last week to discuss each fund in detail. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to provide a summary of our projected revenue and projected expenditures. And what we expect our total fund balances will perform against our fund balance policy. While this is the tentative budget, I do not project it to change very much from now until September. We're already a month and a half into the budget year. So most of our revenues are aligning to what we thought they'd be. Our expenditures are aligning there. So barring any unforeseen expenditures that we didn't project, we should be very similar to what you're seeing. First component we'll look at the tentative budget is our projected revenues. So you can see our projected revenues are going to be $17.4 million. This represents close to 1.3 million more than the previous year's actuals. It's important to note though, $480,000 of that is directly related to the Evergreen floodplain. So all actual new money is tied to that 3% increase in CPI. Distribution. The important takeaway from this slide is that we are heavily dependent on our local property tax base to fund our district. 91%. You can see our state and federal revenues are projected well below 10%. So driving this down a little bit, as we said in our last slide, our primary revenue for the district is the local property tax, 94%. The rest of the local revenue will be coming from interest. CPPRT, there's an asterisk there because it's still unknown. Those revenue projections have not come yet from the state. CPPRT is a replacement tax. In 1979, they abolished a state business tax. The district was getting from that tax at that time. It was proportionally to the school districts. So we expect to see somewhere in this number because that's what we've averaged over the past few years. I don't expect it to go up tremendously or down tremendously. So we'll see. Miscellaneous is the floodplain. As we move into the state revenue, down this the bottom chart, we expect our EBF to increase by $500 again next year. We're a tier 4 district. It's not going to increase much more than that. We split 0.5% of all the money from the state amongst all of the tier 4 school districts. The takeaway from here, what I want us to look at is the transportation claim. For the first time, that's inching closer to what our state aid is. And that's even with $160,000 gap from Croatian, which made we're guaranteed 67% or mandated 67% for a regular claim. That's prorated by 80%. Our special ed claim, we should get 80% of that claim, and that's prorated by another 80%. So that $166,000 gap, if that came in, we actually have more in our transportation claim than we did state aid, which is a little bit new. But that being said, since fiscal year 21, we have lost $1.14 million from the state due to proration. That's a dollar amount that has been shifted to our local property tax base in the transportation fund. So that's just something that we continue to have to pressure our legislators to know that this is hurting districts like that. Federal revenue. This is unique only to the fact that whatever the federal government says you can claim, but you have to spend it. So Title I expenditures, we are allotted $65,000 for reimbursement. If we don't spend $65,000, we don't get it back. So that's just your ballpark target for spending. So next we'll move to the expenditure side. Where is our money going? School district expenditures are categorized by these 7 objects. The chart displays where district dollars have gone. And actual expenditures over the last 2 years to what we're budgeting. It's a year-over-year comparison as well as a 2-year year-over-year comparison. So these expenditures we're expecting to decrease year-over-year 40% from last year. I just stopped now. 40% reduction. But that is directly tied to us not building another addition. So that's where that goes to. So next we'll turn on to how revenues and expenditures are projected to impact our total funds. When we combine all the funds together, administration projects a overall $200,000 deficit starting on July 1st. Now, this deficit is directly related to the culmination of the third phase of our capital plan, which is all the refreshes we saw Benjamin tonight and Evergreen. But as you can see, the transfers out, our next 4 or 5 hearings that we're doing after I finish is all of the interest that we're transferring from funds to pay for what we did over this summer. We still must realize that even though we're transferring out 685, we're still finishing just 200,000 in deficit. So the next question becomes, what will this deficit mean to our fund balance policy? So when we dive this analysis down deeper into our operating funds only, we're projecting $180,000 surplus this time. We calculate the average daily expenditures of $41,000 per day. We can project that we'll finish the year at 230 days cash on hand, which is almost the same as we finished this year. So that's good news. So in sum, there will not be much change to the final budget that we presented tonight that will show in September. Any changes that do come will be undoubtedly related to things like enrollment shifts. For example, if 20 kids enroll tomorrow, probably going to need a new teacher, probably going to need to add a bus rate. We're going to add 20, probably not. But you may have a student come in that needs a out of district placement. That could come with tuition costs. So those could happen over the next month. Probably won't at this point because we're only a few weeks out into the school year. But those types of scenarios would be things that change that. The FY27 budget also is going to reflect one of those back to transitioning to a normal boring budget year. We have been borrowing money, we've been building things, we have been refreshing things. Now we're going to be moving towards this is the money that's coming in, it's going up. Let's have a nice boring year. So revenue is going to be tied to CPI, not decrease in total fund balance, nothing attributable to our capital plan. And we expect to finish 50 days above the board's cash on hand policy. So that is what I have for the presentation tonight. Questions or comments?
Thank you.
And so, are we adopting this in the September meeting then?
Yes, we'll go to final adoption September 14th.
Okay, so next is public comment on the FY27 budget. Public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to board discussion. Is there any discussion from the board? Anything additional? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing on the FY27 budget, return to open session?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Angel?
Aye.
Member Jordan?
Aye.
Member Sandbeck?
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson? Aye. Member Mr. Peterson?
Aye.
Member Valentes? Aye. Member Rogers?
Aye. Psych, we're not returning to open session. You can't just stand, I assume, like a hearing. Let's do it right. Yeah. All right, now next we got.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah, this is a lot of. Next we have the permanent transfer of interest income from the education fund to the operations and maintenance fund. First item is to make a motion to open the public hearing for the permanent transfer of interest from the ed fund to the O&M fund. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Angel?
Aye.
Member Jordan?
Aye.
Member Sandbeck?
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson? Aye. Member Mr. Peterson?
Aye.
Member Valentes? Aye. Member Rogers?
Aye. Okay, we're turning it back over to you, sir. If there's any words of wisdom in the heart.
This resolution just asks for authorization to direct me to move the money that was designated as interest income over to the operations and maintenance funds. We can't move it directly into the capital fund due to ISB restraints, so that's why we have to Well, these rates. So tonight's first hearing is to take the money and the interest income, just a portion of that, that's not the total. I'm pleased to report that we hit over $2 million under this movement. At the end of fiscal year 26. So just a portion of that into the operation month, and then we will transfer that at a later resolution to.
Beautiful. Do we have any public comment on this agenda item? Any board discussion?
I have one comment.
Yes.
Mr. President, I just want to compliment Dr. Felix and painstakingly paying attention to the investments that achieve the domain levels of interest, that we're able to do this to get the interest and put it towards something that we need to bid for. So thank you very much for your meticulous detail.
We hope to maintain a similar rate of return this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don. May I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing and return to open session?
So move. Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Valencia. Aye. Member Ryan.
Aye. Next item is the abatement of the working cash fund of SD25. May I have a motion to open the public hearing for the abatement of the working cash fund?
So moved. Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Valencia. Aye. Member Ryan.
Aye. Is there anything you'd like to say about this item?
This resolution is another formality because if we move money out of the working cash fund, we have to abate it. So this is some portion of the money that we identified for transfer over the last 3 years. We had resolutions in June designating that for future transfer. We're at the time now where we did it. So that is what this resolution is for.
Beautiful. Thank you for keeping us audit compliant on all these items.
Well, we won't know for another year.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Any public comment on this item? Any board discussion on this? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing and return to open session?
So moved. Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Valencia. Aye. Member Ryan.
Aye. Next is the permanent transfer of interest income from various funds to the operations and maintenance fund. May I have a motion to open the public hearing for the permanent transfer of interest income from the various funds, to the operations and maintenance fund?
So moved. Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Valencia. Aye. Member Ryan.
Aye.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Similar to the other two resolutions, we have to move our transportation interest and our bonded interest, interest, to our O and M fund because that is the only fund that can transfer into the county.
Any public comment on that item? And any board discussion? May I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing and return to open session? Second. Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Valencia. Aye. Member Ryan.
Aye. The final is to leapfrog all this stuff to capital projects fund. So it's a permanent transfer of funds from the O and M fund to the capital projects fund. May I have a motion to open the public hearing for the permanent transfer of funds from the O and M fund to the capital projects fund?
So moved. Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Valencia. Aye. Member Ryan.
Aye. All right. Any public comment on this item? And any further board discussion? May I have, sorry. Oh, sure. May I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing and return to open session?
So move. Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ingstrom.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sandberg.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Galais. Aye. Member
Aye. All right, now we're on administrative reports, and first up is the teaching enrollment.
I'd just like to thank the Board of Education for giving me this opportunity to talk about what's been going on this summer with teaching and learning. First focus is our strategic plan work, which the administrative team has been working the whole summer to make sure that we're ready for year one of living the plan. So that included our collaboration and our admin meetings, which we have frequently throughout the summer. And then that will lead up to our strategic plan committee leader meeting, SPCL, as I'm going to call it. We gotta get better. But so we're gonna be leading the administrative liaisons. So Dr. Salamoni, Ms. Smith, myself, Mrs. Tepe and Mrs. Agris, all are gonna be leaders, administrative leaders of the teams. And then we will meet with the teacher leaders next week. And then that'll get us ready for the opening institute day. We'll be meeting both in our district-wide meetings and then our building meetings. And those meetings are the engagement, student support, curriculum, and instructional practices. So this is kind of just like a visual of admin, teacher leaders, and then the teachers. Every teacher is on a committee and will serve on a committee. And then a lot of that work, or most of that work, as you guys were already told, will take place at our Wednesday schedules, after school schedules. That's built into the teacher contract, along with school improvement days and institute days, but still allow us enough time to work on other needed items, such as certain curriculum trainings or things of that nature. So we have that schedule that's all sent out to all staff that rotates on those Wednesday schedules. Yeah, we're excited to get started. I think with everybody involved and participating, I think it's going to be a good buy-in for our district. So next up, we have the Institute Day. So collaborated and finalized our school Institute Days with the administrative team. And basically the way that works is our first day is usually a district-wide day. So everyone will be here at Benjamin, focused on district-wide things such as those strategic plan meetings, Dr. McGill's presentation, safety, building safety is also another topic this year, and changes that we've made with that. And then the second day is usually building based, where we're getting down to the nitty gritty and making sure we're ready for the very next day when students are coming in. So meeting with teams, grade levels, staff learning meeting from the principals, getting that ready. So, and then last item is high school Spanish articulation. Just as a follow-up to what we've talked about in previous board meetings through Dr. McGill and other superintendents' hard work. Our eighth graders who graduated last year, so we have 20 that will receive high school Spanish credit for the work that they did in eighth grade. This is a reminder, they've always been able to go into Spanish 2. They just never received high school credit for Spanish 1 before. So this year we have 20, and that number, we had more students that were in that, but you also have to accept the grade that you got in Spanish. So it's up to the parents to choose, at least this year. That's what we talked about the high school about. So I made contact with each of the parents, said, would you like to have that? A majority of our students were A's, a few B's, and then a couple C's. And so some parents chose not to take that, or if they're going to go into a different language or something like that, or if they attend a different high school. So that's where the number came. And we also asked for other data from West Chicago High School about how our students do when they enter Spanish 2. And over the past 6 years, our students averaged 90.1% in their final grade in Spanish 2. So we have a good track record of success from what Miss Anderson does every day, getting our kids ready for that.
Ms. Joe, can I ask you a
Yes.
question about that? So then starting this year, so then now parents are all aware that if their child chooses to take that Spanish elective, how do we communicate that to the parents?
There's going to be more communication going out. We talked about Dr. McGill, myself, and Ms. Anderson, making sure that we have a structure so that people realize they know that the commitment is 2 years to go into to take credit for high school Spanish, but we also have to make sure that the way that we, for example, average the grade this year was basically based upon eighth grades. Whereas do we want to change this so it's worth an average of what you did in seventh and eighth grade? So there's a lot of different things that we looked at this year, but we're kind of on a speedy track. And so we made some decisions to say we can look at that in the future. So there'll be more communication going out early.
Awesome.
So that seventh graders, parents and everyone knows that this is the new situation.
Thank you.
Can you remind me, is there any back to school activities related to Institute Day or anything that the board is invited to that we need to be aware of? Not that we need to.
You sound like you have an idea.
No, like attending the opening
Yeah,
day
yeah.
institute breakfast or whatever.
I don't know if it's been that way here, but
The board did not attend opening day last year, and I don't think that was done in the past. I sent you my opening day presentation though. Which I'll continue to do and keep you in the loop on that.
perfect. Just want to
Yeah.
make sure it was
So
available.
you'll be in the loop on everything.
All right. Thanks, sir. Back to you. Back to you, sorry.
Yeah, a lot of information that came through the board on a few different reports. I think Tim's report, I don't think he put in all the bullet points that he could have. I mean, the work that he has been coordinating this summer has been just, whether it's, you saw, whether he's coordinating flooring, painting, furniture, seal coating, which looked fantastic, by the way, when the first he's done. Still looks great. He has been busy and getting things, and it's just great that when his first opening bell rings, that all the teachers and kids, for the most part, schools that have been refreshed. To the studs, so that's fantastic. Same for Greg with the technology report. Him and Tim work hand in hand on a lot of these items. They're getting our servers refreshed, which was a much easier process than we anticipated. It went so well that he is starting to identify ways for us to virtualize our voicemail servers. He's projecting mass savings to that. He's also, him and his crew has got the devices ready. We still are going to be attempting to get our Chromebook pilot. About 30. They've only delivered 12. We ordered them 5 months ago. So once we get them all in, we will start testing whether the devices work with testing, how their teachers get them in their hands and go and see. The one thing, there isn't a lot of cost difference between the Chromebook that we have and the student devices. So we're looking really at the usability of it, how it feeds into the high schools. So as those get tested out, we'll provide reports. In regards to more operations from the business side, transportation routes are about dialed in, so we'll be sending information out to parents very soon, maybe by the end of the week. Also with our new food service, that did make the report, but we had our first weekly meeting because everybody came back to work on Friday. So we had our first meeting as a whole group of Quest. I've been meeting with them weekly over the summer. So we are excited to start bringing that information out to parents. Hopefully also by the end of the week, they're putting some back end stuff on their reports. So we want to have that all tested before we direct to their parents there. They're going to be out to all of our opening events. They're going to come to the PTA night, back to school night, set up there, meet with parents, help them with the new payment process, have some of the tasting. They are going to provide a soft launch lunch to our staff on the first Institute Day. So they're going to cater that and get their feet wet a little bit, provide our staff with lunch, kind of show off what they can do for catering. So we're excited about that. They're going to be at each one of our curriculum nights. So they're very excited for that new partnership. We're very happy with our new partnership with our transportation companies, and thank you again for approving those contracts. That's all I have. Any questions?
Yeah, Dr. Dave, on Tim's report, it said recommendations for improving drainage and field conditions on the soccer field. Is there more context or like what direction that, what was that?
So that was delivered more to, hey, we haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah.
But, like most fields that are at schools, they don't always give you the best land, right? The best, really great training. So when we get a lot of rain, it does become unusual for a PE department. And for athletics, I think.
Right.
But most middle schools will. There's no unsafe conditions right now, but one of those items that we would look for to improve that green space for the kids would be to start looking at how do we improve the drainage back there, allow the kids to be outside after a rain
Sure.
quicker.
Yeah.
So not an unsafe condition, more of a put it on radar to start looking at.
Yeah, just improve it.
Develop our capital.
Okay, so mostly drainage, not anything beyond field conditions.
No, it's definitely too wet,
Gotcha.
not holes or. Anything like that.
Okay.
Can turn an ankle.
Well, yeah, the buildings look fantastic, so please extend our gratitude to Mike and, or to, Tim and Greg and get everything ready, and then Mike, Sarah, and getting our team ready, so.
Next.
Thank you guys all. Dr. McGill, over to you.
Okay, a lot of great updates from the team, so I'm gonna skip through some of mine a little bit faster than usual, but great highlights from Dr. Fitzgerald on the district leadership team retreats. We have 2.5 days, we have 2 more days this week, so Tuesday and Thursday, we have whole day retreats, which Dr. Fitzgerald loves whole day meetings. We might end early on Thursday, no, we're clipping away, so we're making good progress, but it's been great to continue to work together as a team to bond, to get really deep into some of the things that we are not able to get to during the school year because there's just not enough time, so being able to take this time has been really nice. We've had a couple good summer school programs happening. Dr. Salomone leads the summer school program for literacy and math support. And there were 23 students participating in that 12-day program, which was really great. And then we just launched the STEAM camp, which has been getting great reviews. 57 students are attending the STEAM camp currently. So this is great. I just want to thank, shout out to the teachers that make this possible. Some districts struggle getting teachers to, work in the summer because they're working all year and, or extended hours, all these different things. Seemingly, like, we don't have that issue. We have great staff that wants to come in and offer extra programs for kids. And that's not even including, I didn't mention it in here, but they had a couple of basketball camps as well on 2 different days because some kids had vacations. And so there's very conscientious teachers, and I just want to commend them for making these opportunities for our students. Dr. Fitzgerald mentioned the high school Spanish credit. This is really important because in the year 2028, all incoming freshmen in high school are going to be required to take 2 years of a world language to graduate high school, which is not the case previously. So by having this credit, our students have other elective opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. So we're ahead of the game. I appreciate the collaboration with West Chicago High School to make this happen. But we're poised, and our kids are going to be ready to have more opportunities when that graduation requirement hits. I also want to give a kudos and shout out to Tim, his crew, and to Joel for all the coordination this summer. Lots of stuff going on. The Evergreen, we'll see Evergreen in September when the board meeting is at Evergreen. It's looking great. We saw the upstairs rooms at Benjamin today. Everything is just looking really fabulous. And shout out to Mr. Till for all the painting, because it's a really good job. It's very meticulous. He has a headlamp. He's really good work. So thank you to everybody involved. What's that?
That was when the power went out. I didn't let him move.
Some of you may have noticed the government signed the so-called cell phone ban law into law last week. And so that was all in the news, which has got a lot of publicity. We'll have to adopt a policy of an official board policy sometime in the next year. But everyone should know, the community should know that Benjamin already prohibits cell phone use during school hours. So this is not a change in practice for us. We'll have to adopt a policy like every other school district. But there's really no change on the ground level for us. Then, really exciting, you all have the inaugural version of our district community newsletter. And it'll be on nicer paper than this. This is just right off the printer. But this is a great way for us to show off to the community all the great things that are happening in our district. So every resident in our district will be receiving this in the coming weeks. They're at the printer right now, then they're gonna mail them, and they'll be in mailboxes, and it highlights a few essential areas, and every newsletter going forward, planning to do these twice a year, are gonna highlight these areas. So one is student achievement, and of course, thanking the board with your feature. Student achievement, first and foremost, celebrations in activities, clubs, and athletics. The arts, lots of things to be proud of in the arts. And then also finance and facilities. And you'll notice on the last page, there's a call out for Benjamin alumni to sign up. So we're trying to, K-8 districts don't usually have an alumni association. If there was ever gonna be a K-8 district that was gonna have an alumni association, it would be Benjamin. I go around all the time, and I hear this person was a Benji, this person was a Benji. I was just talking to an HVAC guy, and he knows Dr. Fitzgerald, and he, it's like the tentacles go all over the place in the community. So this is a way for us to capture who are those people, can we get them, network together? And we already have a network forming, and so we're gonna be convening a group that wanna volunteer and kind of build this thing up. When we, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but when we refresh the gym in the lobby, we're also gonna have an alumni hall of fame. We'll start to do annual inductions of our distinguished alumni that have had positive contributions to the world. And this will also kind of dovetail with our priority of career exploration opportunities for our 7th and 8th grade students. We have a lot of high-powered alumni in a lot of different industries, and we can leverage that to give our students opportunities to explore careers. And in 7th and 8th grade, that's really when you want to get them thinking about what is the job that I might want to have, and get them exposed to different people and talking about what they do and what they're passionate about, so that they know the myriad of opportunities that are out there in terms of careers. Oftentimes students only know, what maybe teaching or what their parents do and things like that. So kind of opening that up, then the Alumni Association will help us do that. And there's also a highlight of those refreshes of the gym and the hall there. And then a shout out to the PTA on the back here, asking people to scan to learn more. So making sure our community partners are in there as well. But this is really, people who have kids that come to the district, they know all the good work that's happening all the time. But maybe you have kids that graduated and are no longer here, or maybe not as involved as you were before. This is a way to let all the taxpayers know that their hard-earned taxpayer money is going to a good cause and good use for excellent schools, which is the #1 investment that we have in the community, our schools. Right? Keep property values high, and make sure that we have a desirable community where people flock to. So anyways, you'll get that in the mail, and more to come on that. There's a few GPS Parent Series events that are coming up. They're launching again, really great one. I just want to highlight a few that may be relevant and interesting to our families. The first one is on August 20th. This is Start the School Year Strong, the Science of Motivating Young People. The next, August 26th, this is Parenting Anxiety, Breaking the Cycle of Worry and Raising Resilient Kids. Next, August 27th, right, the next day after, Dopamine Kids, Understand Addictive Triggers and Rewire Young Brains. And last one we're featuring is September 23rd, When Kids Say I Hate Myself, How to Respond. So these are free events. Oftentimes they're virtual. Several times they're actually recorded on YouTube too, so you can actually see them you can go and you can listen to them afterwards. Every once in a while, probably about once a year, I actually introduce a speaker, so you might see me there. But they're really good, and it's good to there's constant the parenting is changing, the things that young people are dealing with all the time is changing, so it's good to stay up on this research to make sure that we're able to support all of our students. And then there's one FOIA request by Smart Procure again, and we responded within the required time. And that concludes my superintendent report. We don't have any other questions. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we're on to public comment on agenda items. Does anyone have public comment on agenda items?
Committee reports.
Committee reports.
Yeah, before the movie.
PTA finance.
PTA.
Unbelievable. Beautiful. No, I just totally missed that. Do we just have PTA and finance?
Yes.
All right, we'll go to PTA first.
To you, sir. PTA, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited. We have a PTA board, we have a PTA executive board. Four of the members are gonna return. They've been on for a number of years, some 3, 4 years now, but Kristen DeRico is gonna be president of PTA. And, Andy Bokus, who is the secretary, he was gonna step down. He's gonna be the vice president for Benjamin. To work with Dr. Fitzgerald. Yours truly will be vice president of Evergreen. I'll work with Sarah, Dr. McGill. To make sure that, we have, and then you have the treasurer, you have Gina Patel, she's gonna return. Which is great, and, Christina McIntyre will be the VP in charge of membership. And Heather Malzanado is, you may not know Heather. Heather is a third grader. I know Heather, she's with her daughters in Girl Scouts with my granddaughter, so we have a good, solid team, you know. The first organizational meeting, which we will have to nominate, elect, and install officers, will be next Monday in this room. Next Monday, so encourage more people to come out. And we'll talk about the budget for the PTA and pretty much trying to keep every event we've had last year, you know, we're gonna have that this year. We do have a positive event balance, so we can fund things. So Fun Run is underway, the planning for it. So I agree with Dave, October 10th.
We want to say second, but
Okay. But Fun Run is being planned and it'll be a new group and we should be able to retain more of the funds instead of going to fees. This month will be back to school night on Friday, the 28th, for an hour and a half, I think from 6 to 7:30, 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
6:30 to 8. I think it's an hour and a half, 6:30 to 8.
Is that the one you just go out of the parking lot on?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, we're gonna have food, we'll have the entertainment, we'll have the visits from the police and fire department. And now here, our new food vendor will be there as well. So looking forward to that. I think that's all we need to know. Please, if anybody, here's the real key. We'd like to have people involved, more people involved at the beginning of the year, so they could shadow at least what the PTA executive board is doing. And they'll say, oh yeah, I can do that too, and then we won't have a crisis at the end of the year when long-term board members will be stepping down, you know, so.
Are these like 1-year spots that you guys have?
They're 1-year spots with a maximum of 2 in one position. So, for example, Christina was 2 years the treasurer and 2 years of VP of membership, you know. And they're volunteer positions to be sure, but if you work as a group and we have a solid team, you get a lot of things done very quickly, you know. If there's any questions of people who are watching this, PTA@benjamin25.org is the email. I monitor it now. PTA@benjamin25.org. Real simple email address. Any questions, comments?
And Don, is this the PTA committee chairs now too?
Well, yes, and then, yes, thank you for that. So that's really what the first meeting of the year is before school starts. So next week, August 17th at 7 p.m. would be to.
And you guys sent an email blast out to current PTA parents, right? Already to sign up?
I don't know if we have, but
No,
I know I
think
talked to Mrs. Smith this morning who said, and she was gonna send an email which we included
Oh, okay.
this information in there, including the link for the Sign Up Genius to say, here's the committees that we need leads for. A lot of people have signed up already,
Okay.
so. For example, today, you know, we had the school supply pickup, which I helped volunteer oversee the NJHS kids, two students who helped with that. It was great. We had like 166 boxes and we distributed 104, you know, so there's very few left. So there's another pickup tomorrow from 3 to 6, and those that aren't picked up will be delivered to each of the respective school offices. But yes, we're looking for, if you don't want to be on the executive board, we're certainly looking for folks to head up a committee. Or an event, whatever, and we'll do what we can, whoever, if we have enough folks, then we'll continue the events.
I was just gonna mention that Mrs. Smith and myself have also met with the leadership team already. And worked on getting that information out about committees and, curriculum night, you know, we're gonna make an announcement of PTA announcements as well, so.
All right, thanks, sir. Close my report. Appreciate it. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, now on finance report, maybe one of you gentlemen like to give an update.
The finance committee met last week to discuss the FY 27 tentative budget. We went into a much deeper discussion on each one of our funds and analyzed the variables that contributed to the projections. Throughout the discussion, the reliance on local property tax as the district's revenue source was evident. State continues to prorate its categorically mandated reimbursements, and the general state contribution continues to increase by just $500 annually. Joel projects that we will finish the FY 27 above the 180-day fund balance minimum. The finance committee will begin in September to review any changes in advance of the final budget hearing at the September 15th meeting.
All right, thank you. All right, now we are on to public comment on agenda items. Public comment on agenda items. Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Does any member wish to have any item removed from the consent agenda for separate consideration? No. Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda, which contains kind of one annual item on there, which is the approval of the HACCP district for helps and license status quo. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So
Second.
Any discussion on that one? Roll call, please.
Member Ingstrom,
aye.
member Brennan,
Alright,
member Sandbeck,
Aye.
member Ms. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Velazquez.
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. Okay, then we're on to our action items. First action item is the approval of the semi-annual review of closed session minutes and audio recordings. May I have a motion to approve the semi-annual review of closed session minutes and audio recordings as presented? And this would be for release for the public. Well, okay.
So moved.
Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Member Ingstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sandbeck,
Aye.
member Ms. Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Velazquez.
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. Next to the approval of the board agreements, may I have a motion to approve the board agreements as presented? So moved.
Second.
Discussion on that.
So I'm gonna make one comment. This is really good. This is the second year that we've discussed board agreements as a board and have worked on them and revised them. And it's really what it is, and the community should know this is a sign of good governance. That you have a collaborative board that's able to work together and talk through the norms of governing and doing business. So just want to commend President Rogers and the rest of the board for their leadership and making sure that we're staying disciplined on the board agreements annually. So thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Did we get a motion second?
Motion, yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Member Ingstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sandbeck.
Aye.
Member Ms. Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Velazquez.
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. Next, the approval of the SASD Articles of Joint Agreement. May I have a motion to approve the SASD Articles of Joint Agreement as presented?
So moved. Second.
Discussion on that guy. Roll call, please.
Member Sandbeck,
Aye.
member Ingstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
All right.
member Ms. Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Velazquez.
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. Now, the board transfer items. First, we have the approval of the resolution of transfer funds from the ed fund to the O&M fund. May I have a motion to approve the resolution to transfer funds from the education fund and operating the maintenance fund as presented?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Ingstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sandbeck,
Aye.
member Ms. Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Velazquez.
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. Next, we have the resolution abating the working cash fund. May I have a motion to approve the resolution abating the working cash fund as presented?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Member Ekstrom,
Aye.
member Jordan,
Aye.
member Sandek,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson,
Aye, sorry, just.
Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Valenti,
Aye.
member Rogers.
Aye. Now we have interest transfer to the O and M fund. May I have a motion to approve the resolution to permanently transfer funds from the earned interest income of various funds to the operations and maintenance fund as presented.
So,
So,
second.
roll call please.
Member Ekstrom,
Aye.
member Jordan,
Aye.
member Sandek,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Valenti,
Aye.
member Rogers.
Aye.
And I'm sorry, did Miss Peterson?
Second.
Last is the transfer from the O and M fund to the capital projects fund. May I have a motion to approve the resolution to transfer funds from the operations and maintenance fund to the capital projects fund as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ekstrom,
Aye.
member Jordan,
Aye.
member Sandek,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Valenti,
Aye.
member Rogers.
Aye. Do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? Having none, we'll move on to discussion items. Do we have any individual items of discussion? Anything from the board? Okay, now we're on to executive session. May I have a motion to enter an executive session for the purpose of appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in an educational setting for exemption 1 under Illinois Open Meeting Act 120-2. And we will not be taking action after after executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call please.
Member Ekstrom,
Aye.
member Jordan,
Aye.
member Sandek,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson,
Aye.
member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Valenti,
Aye.
member Rogers.
Aye. Thank you all.